Right, so what a couple of fucking weeks it's been. So this is the current brake setup that we're about to remove. So you've all been following the build closely enough, I hope anyway. If not, why not? So you'll know we've had our fair share of issues with the brakes. We had that issue at Donington last year where we had boiled the brake fluid at Alton Park the round before. We didn't realise, went to Donington Park, no brake. Change of fluid, we had brakes again, fantastic. Brand hatch, brakes were fine, but they quickly diminished after that. We've come to the conclusion that the brakes just aren't doing the job anymore. They are a small 240mm single pot setup of a 100NX. We still have the rear drum setup on there, and they just can't cope with the sort of speeds that we're doing there with the, the more power and the bigger engine. So I purchased a Pulsar GTIR brake setup for the Micra because they're pretty much a direct fit with the exception of a couple of washers. I believe they're a 253 or 256mm disc. You sort of get laughed at when people look at the Micra and you've still got drums on the rear, so we wanted something which, wouldn't make people laugh. So a bit of digging, I found a bolt-on 280mm disc setup using a set of 4-pot Willwoods. I think from Rally Design, they were 650 quid. If that kit exists, they're probably second-hand kit. A quick post on one of the Pulsar pages, 2 minutes later, I bought these bad boys. Now the guy follows the videos, so if you're watching, thanks mate, really appreciate it. So yeah, this is the Micra's new brake setup. So we've got a pair of Willwood, I think they're Duralights, they're the old style ones. The pistons are free. Now he did say they need a rebuild, but I think we're going to sort of chance it. We're going to try and get it out for a test run at a track day in a couple of weeks time at Cadwell, just to see how the brakes react. They did come with a set of Frodo DS2 500s, but I've already been out and bought a set of Frodo DS1s, some split pins. We've got the carriers, we've got the 2-piece bells and discs. Now, I'll tell a lie, I've already sort of test fitted these. I needed a 6mm spacer to clear the wheel, so it's not just about bolting the bigger calipers on. And obviously there's a lot more fluid to be pushed in these calipers because of obviously the extra pistons. So we need a bigger master cylinder. Now, originally I purchased a Nissan Terrano master cylinder, but the issue was that on the Terrano master cylinder we had an additional output for the front brakes at the bottom here, and it would have fouled the inlet manifold at the bottom here. Now we could have blanked it off in hindsight and actually used that cylinder, but I still want to put some discs on the rear. More on that hopefully in this video or next video. So after a bit of digging I came across this unit here, which is a Land Rover Discovery 300 TDI, and this is a 1-inch cylinder. So in comparison the Terrano one was a 22mm, so with this we should have a much firmer pedal compared to the Terrano one. Obviously we've not got this outlet at the bottom here to interfere with the inlet manifold. These two are clear just fine. What we're going to do to start with is we're going to tear off the old master cylinder, we're going to take the wheels off, we're going to pull the brakes off, and we're going to get it all bolted on the car. Right, so there we've got the old cylinder off. So this is the factory K11, I believe 17mm master cylinder, and this is the Land Rover 300 TDI master cylinder. Now I'm pleased to report only very slightly longer, but also the port should clear inlet manifold, so it's a pretty simple job, and that is just to put this one back on, and then we'll have to measure up for some brake lines and stuff. So yeah. Master cylinder is on, it's huge, it fits, and that's the most important thing. We have got, it's a bit tight here, but we have got clearance. So hopefully, I think by the time we've got a banjo on there and a banjo bolt on there, again, we'll be a bit close. Other options is that we could drill out this side of the cylinder, but I don't think we're going to bother doing that. So now the cylinder's on, we need to mock up all the lengths and fittings for all the hydraulic braided hoses I'm going to have made. But I think before we do that, we're going to test fit the Willwoods on the front and just make sure everything's hunky-dory before we go any further. So this is the current brake setup that we're about to remove. So these are 242mm setup from a 100NX, which will be this car just here. Odd looking thing, but they're a direct fit other than a little washer that you can probably just see just down there somewhere, just to get the disc centralised on the camera. Right, so that's the calipers back on. Probably can see there, the disc is hitting this section of the caliper here. And I think that these two bolt holes here for the carrier are slightly different. Almost as if it needs to swing out this way a touch. But I think the easiest thing to do is turn the discs down a couple of millimeters to get that clearance that we need. So we'll have to figure out a way of turning the discs down to get the clearance that we need. Right, so a bit of success there at ICB, one of our sponsors. See, Ivan, I told you sticker was on the car. So yeah, we've managed to take them down from 283 to 279. So we've taken 4mm off them. Now, the reason we did that is because I wanted to take them down to 280, and I went 1mm too much on the first disc. So we've done them both to match. But these discs aren't available in 280. I'm just trying to save a bit of money in between now and Donny. So yeah, we're going to get them back on the vehicle. We're going to all bolt it up, get the calipers back on finally, and then we'll go do the other side. And there we go, loads of clearance. We've got enough room there for thermal expansion as well for when the brakes get hot. So yeah, just got to put the pads in there for this side, and that's this side done, and then we'll go do the other side. So the pads are going to fit, which I'm quite excited about, because up until now we've not been able to put any form of decent pad on here. We've had EBC yellow, EBC blue, and some Mintex 1144s. The Mintex 1144s, they've definitely had a half-life at Brands Hatch and Alton Park. So we're actually going to fit some Frodo DS1s into these. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these perform. Come highly recommended by a lot of guys in the Time Attack chat, so trust their judgment. See how we get on with them. And that is the driver's side done. Yeah, really happy about it's come out. We've obviously got our clearance for our disc on the caliper this side. Although on this brake hose this side, I'm a bit concerned about this piece here where it comes out the crimp. So I'm more than likely gonna have a couple of these hoses made as well, just for a bit of safety, food for thought. Might as well replace them while we're here, and we don't know how old they are. Peace of mind, I think we'll replace them. So next one with the brake lines. Now I've decided to run a braided hose from front to back for all the connections. Now difficulty is that the fittings are quite fiddly, especially like all the dash free compression fittings. Luckily we've got a place around the corner which supplies Hell braided lines. Good friends of them, A&E Motorsport logo and stuff here. So I've basically just been down there and pillaged their fittings and bits and bobs, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to mock up all the individual lines that I need, make a note of which fittings go on each end of the hose, take it all back, get them to make all the hoses up, use all their crimping machine and stuff, bring them all back and fit them. Shouldn't take me more than a couple of hours to get all these lines mocked up. Just going to do a quick time lapse really of me getting shit done. Right, so what a couple of fucking weeks it's been. So a bit of a jump cut. We're 2-3 weeks after the last clip that you've just seen, and it's been a fucking nightmare trying to sort out these brake hoses. ICB weren't able to help us at the time because they just didn't have some of the fittings in that we needed. But you know, really appreciate Bino and Adam letting me borrow a load of hell gear so I can at least mock up the lines. That are very much appreciated. We then had another company make us the lines, and it's my fault. I didn't specify what thread I wanted on the M10 fittings, and they sent all M10 be 1.25 when I wanted M10 be 1, so I suppose you could say I fucked up on that. So just to give some context, today's Thursday, we're at Donington on Monday. That's got no brakes on it. Well, it's got brakes bolted to it, but no hydraulics. So $3 yesterday, I made a call to hell, and I just basically said I'll suck someone's dick if they can get me some brake hoses for this morning, and they delivered, and they've even labelled them for me so I know which hose goes where. So I about had a panic attack when them brake hoses come wrong yesterday, so I'm glad we're sorted now. So yeah, let's get this lot fitted and let's get the brakes bled.
2 hours later.
Right, so that's all the brake hoses on the car. Now luckily the brackets have been cut this morning, so we now have our entire caliper conversion set up ready to go on the car. So first we've got to do is strip the axle of the drum and all the chute and backing disc, and then we start putting on the caliper conversion kit. So I'll try and do my best to do a step by step on this one, but I think we'll probably do a separate video when we eventually release the kit. Right, and there we go. We've got the caliper conversion on this side, and we've got the caliper conversion on this side. The brake hoses in, and still need to P-clip the brake hoses so they're nice and neat, but we can do that tomorrow. The important thing is now is that we need to get some fluid in these brakes so I can get it down the road and get it tracked ready for this weekend. So yeah, now we're going to attempt to bleed the brakes for the first time. So I've just put normal plates on, and we'll just take it for a quick little run round the estate. come to life now. Really happy with how they're performing. Right, so test drive was mostly a success. The brakes definitely come alive after a couple of decent stops from a bit of speed. Natural speed limit, obviously. But we had a noise in the back, which you could probably hear in the video that you've just watched. And we've discovered that the rear pad is touching the rear disc. I mean, it started to self-clear, as you can see, but that's no good. You can see all the metal filings from where it's rubbing itself down. So it's something we have to sort now. The noise just overpowers any other noise you can hear. So if something else goes wrong, we can't hear it with that. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the pad out, and we're just going to get a grinder and just chip away at the material on the inside here to get a bit of clearance there. And that's the important of product testing, is that we've discovered this issue before you've got your kits fitted to your mic. We now know that's a simple fix in the drawing, so I now know next week what I need to change on the dimensions so this doesn't happen when you get your... So yeah, we're going to sort that and then put it back together, quick drive around the yard, see how we go from there. So there we go, we've clearanced that pad there. We've gained, it's hard to hold them, but we've gained about 3mm of clearance there. So we'll get these fitted back in and see if that rectifies the clearance issue.
I am the one who knocks.
And there we go, we've now got a bit of clearance all the way around the pad. There we are, we're not catching anymore. So we'll get the wheels back on, take it for a quick run in the yard, and then that's rectified that. Beautiful. Fucking go racing, boys. And there we go. That's the brake saga over. So I'm going to end this video while I'm still sat in the car. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the end of the Donny debrief.